Hi guys, welcome to Angora Hangover. I'm Tunda. Remember, we have started to deal with the 7 magical language skills. In this episode, I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks on listening, because listening as a skill is kind of hard sometimes to improve faster than the other skills. This is at least my humble opinion. And therefore, you should invest time in improving every single skill, including this one too. Now, let's see what you can do to boost it, okay? Now, again, no magic bullets. You have to practice it, okay? So if you don't practice listening, don't expect any result or any improvement at all. I would recommend you to at least listen to something in English like 10 minutes. That's the minimum. But obviously it could be like up to hours as well. Obviously depends on your time. But it's incredibly important to choose the right level of listenings, because many times that's the problem of comprehension, that students try to push a kind of listening on themselves. However, they don't understand it. And fair enough. If it's not your level or way above your level, you won't understand it. Therefore, you should try to experiment with the strength of listening. If you don't do this, you will just kind of feel failures every time. So this would be like the priority to choose the right level of listening exercises, okay? The second stuff is to try to choose a listening that you're interested in. Again, if you're not interested or demotivated on the topic, you won't concentrate. And at the end of the day, listening is a kind of concentration task too, at least at the beginning. So level, right level, and interest are inevitable. Thirdly, you should kind of examine yourself when you get stuck with the comprehension. Why did you get stuck? Was it because you didn't understand anything at all? Obviously, that's not your level. Was it because you didn't understand the sounds either, the pronunciation, like not at all? Was it because you didn't understand the words, like separately? Or was it because you didn't understand the sentence on the whole? So obviously all of them have different techniques to boost them, and we don't have time to get into the details, but I'm more than happy to answer you below if you realized which problem you have, to add some extra tips and tricks on them, okay? That was the third thing, to kind of examine yourself, okay, where you get stuck. Number 4, you should kind of vary the different types of listening. If you always watch or listen to the same thing, you will get used to that, okay? And you should find some challenges anyway. Of course, not too challenging, but it should have some challenges in it. Therefore, it's also good to combine formal and informal listenings. Like, for instance, on TED Talk, you can find semi-formal or formal listenings too, but formal language as well. However, if you only watch like movies, you will mostly listen to informal language and you won't get used to the formal part itself. You should listen to both, okay, in order to improve properly. Number 5, try to use the transcript or the subtitle, but in English, okay? Very important, in English, not in your mother tongue, because if your brain has to choose between 2 languages, which should I concentrate on? Which should I concentrate on? It will always pick the one that it is better at, and that's your mother tongue. And the focus will be on that. Instead of that, use the English subtitle or transcript always. Therefore, your eyes and your ears will identify the sounds in pronunciation and in writing too. Aha, they said it like that. Now I understood what they have just said, okay? That's the reason for that. Next one is to try to watch TV shows, series, or movies. Not just like them, as I said, but they are really, really helpful to you to boost your listening skills. If you're a kind of beginner or false beginner, I wouldn't recommend movies, especially something that you have never seen before, okay? At the very beginning, it's worth choosing something that you have seen and you know the plot, you know the whole story. You will comprehend it much better. It's also good to watch TV shows because, like, more or less, its language, it's kind of identical, okay? So it's not that changeable, or at least the characters mostly are the same. And you can get used to their pronunciation, their vocab, and so on, okay? It's a very good strategy to watch TV shows. Okay. The next tip is to listen to the audio file or whatever you're listening to several times. You know, repetition definitely helps in language learning, but with the comprehension too. And yeah, you don't need to be bothered with that. If you have to listen to something like 5 times, it's fine. Then do it and try to identify those parts where you got stuck and try to figure them out, okay? And obviously to get better at those points. You can also use audiobooks for this, like novels, but it depends also on the language of the given book, how hard or easy it is. On the other hand, there are the so-called Oxford Bookworm series where you can find like different stages in terms of difficulty. And that's like stunning for language learners. I would highly recommend to use the Oxford Bookworm series as audiobooks. You can follow the text with your eyes and listen to the right pronunciation and improve your listening skills by listening with your ears. You can also learn with music or podcasts. Again, with music, I would recommend to use the lyrics because the pronunciation could be hard, especially when we sing. But if you use podcasts, again, the transcript can be downloaded several times or almost every time, and they are typically made, not all of them, for language learners, and they are very, very useful and short. Also, it's a great thing to slow down the listening, especially on YouTube. You have this function to speed up or slow down the video itself, and sometimes the listening comprehension, it's too fast and you couldn't follow that, you couldn't figure it out what was said. In such cases, it's a great tip to slow down the video. The next one is try to focus on the context. Honestly, if you stop at every single new word or expression, you won't make progress. You have to get used to the fact that, yeah, there will be kind of new words, expressions while listening to something. But by focusing on the big picture, you will be able to figure them out. And it can be learned. Just practice it. And please don't stop the listening every single time you hear a new word or expression, okay? Focus on the context. On the other hand, it's also advisable to collect new phrases, structures, or even expressions from the listenings, because this is how you can actively improve with the help of listening. So many people just listen to different stuff like passively, and then they cannot kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If you do just this very simple tip like collecting new phrases and then trying to put them into practice in speech, you will feel that, yeah, you can definitely improve your vocabulary actively and not just on a passive level. And my very last advice is it's really great to have a conversation partner. I know I said it in the previous video as well. I'm emphasizing it because listening and speaking are connected with each other. You can improve your speaking skill considerably, but if you ignore the listening itself, you won't understand your conversation partner. So therefore, they are connected. If you need any help with that, or you're looking for a conversation partner, we are more than happy to help you because we have loads of programs for them. Just drop me an email if you're interested in it. Okay, here we are. I hope you managed to get some useful pieces of advice from my video, and obviously there are still a lot of other skills to talk about. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumb up or leave your comment below. I'm curious about that. In the next episode, we are gonna deal with reading, which is another important skill. So see you then. Bye.